Hi guys, today I want to talk about this video scam, basically the token. I'm going to set up a live stream on TikTok so I can also share this content with TikTok. So give me a quick second to do that. Okay, so today I want to talk about the this guy Patrick Shu. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Um, he's the tech lead on YouTube. He's got over 1 million followers. Basically, I want to walk you through how he's scamming people on his channel and by setting up this token. What I've basically done is taken a look at his wallet, and there's a lot of tools that you can look at somebody's wallet. This one is very popular, Zapper. He's got $4.7 million in his wallet, most of which is in tokens at this point, 461,000 tokens. There was only 1 million of them that created, and he sold quite a lot of them. He's got 537,000 USDC. He's also already transferred out of this account $1 million of USDC. So he's made at least $1 million off this scam, and looks like he's made another $1.5 million, and he still has 146,000 tokens in his wallet that he could inject into the liquidity pool. So the reason why that he's able to do this scam is because of version 3 of Uniswap. In version 2, you had to maintain a 50-50 split. So liquidity, when you provided liquidity, you provided your token and your USDC token, and half of it had to be USDC and half of it had to be token. And so as people would buy tokens, your USDC would go up, your tokens would go down. As people would sell tokens, the token would go up, the USDC would go down. But you always started out with a 50-50 balance. But with Uniswap version 3, they actually allow you to set your price range, and if it falls outside the price range, then you won't be selling your tokens at all. So and that's the way that you can protect your assets. You can add a bunch of liquidity, so it looks like in your wallet you're adding, you have $1.8 million in liquidity, but in actuality some of these contracts would never be executed. So for example, this $1 million is not in any danger. He's got 0 tokens and $1 million of USDC tokens, but this particular contract is only in the case that tokens drop below $1, or are selling from like 99 cents to $1.01 or something like that, which it's in no danger of being executed. So this is a way to artificially inflate how much money it looks like have at stake, providing liquidity, when actuality you don't have anything near that. Also, this particular contract, so I suspect that he's got very little money at stake in these contracts, but it looks like he's got a lot at stake. So we can see this here. We see this $1 million. It's only going to be executed if it's between 99 cents and $1.01. So again, as soon as that it gets anywhere near this price, he's going to remove this liquidity so it doesn't get executed. Likewise, here's another $163,000 from $7 to $12. This one might be triggered because the current price is $14. But in actuality, this is the only one that is currently active because it's $10 to $100. He's got $135,000 at stake. It doesn't say how many tokens he has. It just shows how much the total value is worth. So who knows how much USDC is actually in this contract. But anyway, the point is that we can look at and examine the contracts closely. What I've done is I've taken a look at all of, and here's him transferring out $1 million from liquidity, and he sent it to another wallet. Here's his other wallet that is currently holding his $1 million in profit that he made so far from running this scam. If we take a look at all of the transactions starting back when he first created the token, so let's go back and find the first creation. Well, I don't know that I can see it on this one, but we see that here's one of the first calls that he made. Here's $10 or 10 tokens. Let's see. So here's the first one. So on 6/24, he added 1 token at a value of $1. And so at that point, he only had $1 at stake and 1 token in circulation. So what I've done is I've looked at all these transactions, and I compiled a spreadsheet just for the first couple of days of action. And I left out the first transaction of 1 cent. But on 6/30, he started pumping this on YouTube, and he added $10,000 of liquidity and 12,200 tokens. So at this point, we had 10,000 USDC and 12,000 tokens at a value of 82 cents. So the thing was never worth $1 from the get-go, except for that one transaction where it was $1. So let's take a look at this first transaction. Here it is right here, 10,000 USDC. So anytime you see a minus here, he's adding this into the contract. So 12,000 tokens and 10,000 USDC. And then he takes out 5,000, or actually he's just adding money into his account at this point. So the second transaction is he's adding $20,000 USDC and 33,000, and I transferred that to the spreadsheet. So here's the this transaction, 20,000 USDC and 33,000 tokens. So at this point, he's got a total of $30,000 at risk, 45,000 tokens in circulation at a total value of 66 cents. And then what he does is a minute after he adds this, he takes out $22,000 in USDC. So then the value of the token is really only 17 cents. So on 7/1/12/25, when he started just a few minutes after adding liquidity, he adds it, but then he immediately takes out $22,000. So he's only got $7,700 at stake, but he's got 45,000 of these tokens in circulation on Uniswap. The value of the token is 17 cents at that point. And then he starts adding more liquidity, $40,000 of USDC, 28,000 tokens. So now he's got 74,000 tokens out there on Uniswap, and he's got 47,000 at risk. So the value of the token now is worth 64 cents according to what he's got out there. And then he immediately, after adding $40,000, takes out $53,000. So apparently people started buying the token. I don't know when he started scamming, but it looks like he released his first YouTube video on 7/1 around 11 o'clock in the morning, and then an hour later he's able to withdraw $53,000. So at that point, he's got $53,000 in his wallet, and he's got 74,000 tokens out there. And each of them are valued at -8 cents because he's only got -$6,000 of his own money invested in this scam. So then he takes this $53,000 and he adds more liquidity, $56,000 USDC, now 123,000 tokens. So now we have almost 200,000 tokens in circulation at this point, and he's got a total of $50,000 at risk of his own money, each token valued at 25 cents. But then notice 9 minutes later he withdraws $68,700. So now we have almost 200,000 tokens but he's got minus $18,000 of his own money at risk. So each token at this point, according to what he's put in it, is valued at minus 9 cents. And so then we see about, I don't know, 10 minutes or 7 minutes later, he adds $25,000, 32,000 tokens, and then $18,000 and 18,000 tokens. Again, now he's got almost 250,000 tokens, 249,000 tokens, and he's got $25,000 of his money at risk. The value of the token, according to what he has at risk, is 10 cents. So I'm sure that the value of the token at this point is probably around a couple of dollars, according to the current rate of exchange, and that's how he's able to extract at roughly 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock. He's able to extract $240,000 and 65 tokens. So at this point we have 250,000 tokens out there. He's got minus $214,000. So he's got this in his wallet. Each token, according to what he's got invested, is worth a minus 86 cents. And then he adds 222,000 tokens. He adds 268,000 USDC. And so now he's got almost 500,000 tokens out there, but he's only got 54,000 of his money at risk, at a total of 12 cents is the value of the token according to what he's put in it. And then he turns around 3 hours or so later, 4 hours later, 5 hours later, well, 4 hours. He takes out $332,000. So at this point, he's got a profit of $265,000. He only takes out 116 tokens. So now we have almost 500,000 tokens out there, but we have, $265,000 he's got in his wallet. Each token is worth 56 cents at this point. He adds 193,000 and 25,000 tokens. And so at this point, he's got invested a minus 72,000. He's got almost 500,000 tokens out there, each token valued at 15 cents. And then 3 minutes later, he takes out $309,000 and 0 tokens out of liquidity pools. And so at this point, he's got about $400,000 in his wallet, and each value of the token is now worth a minus 79 cents according to what he's invested in it. And now he starts upping, apparently the token is selling pretty fast, and so he puts in $422,000 and 250,000 tokens. So now he's got 746,000 tokens out there. He's only got a total of $31,000 of his own money at risk in this, and each token, according to what he's put in it, is only valued at 4 cents. And then he adds another 20,000, so that increases his total money at risk to 51,000. Each, according to what he's put in it, is valued at 7 cents a piece. And then he immediately, just a couple of hours later, takes out 194,000 USDC, and at this point 25,000 tokens he withdraws. So now we're down to 721,000 total tokens, and a minus 142,000 that he's got invested. So each token is worth minus 20 cents according to what he's put in it. Then he adds 100,000 tokens, $25,000. And he's got 821,000 tokens out there. He's got minus $116,000 that he's got invested. And then, so he does this thing again, and now he withdraws. Let's see, 214, he added 25,000. 216 adds 100,000. And then at 218, 2 minutes later, he pulls out 248,000 tokens and close to $429,000. And so he's got total invested $446,000 in his pocket. So you can see there's a total of 573,000 tokens on Uniswap are out in circulation. And then they're each of them worth minus 78 cents according to what he's put in it. So this is the game that he's running. He's putting in liquidity and then taking it out. So I kind of ran out of steam and stopped adding these transactions. But you can see how the game is run. and you can follow these transactions and see exactly what he's doing in terms of taking out 194,000 and taking out 25,000, putting in 100,000, taking out 429,000, and the game just continues to run on. So again, we can see the current state of what he has invested, and it looks like he's got a lot more at risk than he actually does, because again, this contract will never be executed. This one probably will never be executed. And I did look at, so one of the things that we can do is we can look at the NFTs, and we can see all of these NFTs that he created in terms of the dollar ranges. Unfortunately, the formatting here cuts off the range, so I went ahead and just looked at the code to see the range, and we can see here's one from $10 to $13.90. Here's another one, $10 to $15. Here's one from 99 cents to $5. Again, no danger of this one being executed. $15 to $15.99, $19 to $100. Again, this is probably not in any danger of getting executed. $21 to $59. Again, not in any danger. $50 to $100. Well, that's not in any danger of getting executed. And he could remove it if it starts approaching $50 in price. He could remove this liquidity just in a second. Again, this one's out of range. This one's out of range. This one's certainly out of range. $7 to $8. $7 to $8 out of range. This one is in range because the current price is $14. This one's out of range, out of range, out of range, out of range, out of range. I mean, here's one, for example, that's total nonsense. 20 cents to 24 cents. This is totally fake. There's no way that this would ever get executed. And if he did, was in danger of the token price dropping to 20 cents, he could yank this out before it ever got executed. So guys, this is how the game is played. Again, he's made at least $1 million, probably more, because he's got a lot of money in his wallet, as well as in this wallet. So he's got two wallets. The total value of this wallet is $2 million. The total value of this wallet is $1 million. So he's got at least $3 million that he's made in this scam so far. Again, in his wallet, he's got $500,000 USDC, and well, it looks like he doesn't have any tokens now. He just moved them out, I guess. But again, looks like that he's got $1 million at risk. He doesn't. He's got just a few $1,000s at risk. Let's see here. This doesn't show the ranges of it only just shows the totals that he's got at risk. But anyway, you pretty much see how the game is run. So guys, I wanted to do a quick live stream to update you on this particular scam. It is a scam. I have researched it. By the way, he's created a new token now, now that he has kind of run this scam. He created a new token called the MT token, and let's find it here. I don't think he started scamming it yet, but the first time that he created the token, he only created 1 million of them, and he saw that he's kind of limited in this 1 million token that he created. So now he created an MT token that has 10 billion units. So he minted. Of course, it's totally worthless, but he's gonna probably start offering liquidity on Uniswap for the MT token now, and run the same kind of scam that he did for the token. But this time he has 10 billion as opposed to 1 million. At this point, he's probably, I suspect that he's got almost 800,000 tokens in circulation. So the scam has sort of run now. He's made $1.5 million, probably 2 million, something like that. I think he's made probably 2.5 million so far on the scam. And now he's looking to do a new scam using MT tokens, same kind of thing. he started, I don't know if he started adding liquidity to it or not, if he started pumping it yet, but hold on, because he will start pumping this new MT token as soon as he's finished with the token scam. Now, I don't know if you can sell your tokens or not. It depends upon if he allows you to sell them. If he's willing to trade USDC for tokens, I mean, at some point he could just remove all the liquidity, and that's a rug pull, right? And I'm sure he will do that at some point. He may offer liquidity in very limited ranges. In other words, if it drops below $12 or below $11, the liquidity runs out, and he's no longer going to be offering token. He's no longer going to be buying tokens. Again, whenever there's a buyer, there is a seller. He's been the seller for the last week or so. The first week of the scam, he was the only one selling. And you were the public was the only one buying. Normally when you release a new token, you have to register it as a security with the SEC, and the SEC will come after you if you're selling tokens in the U.S. that have not been registered. And so sometimes what people will do, even if they do register the token with the SEC, they will not allow U.S. persons to buy it, because that triggers the SEC regulations, and so they want to stay clear of that. And so they will restrict buying to non-U.S. citizens, because in the U.S., if you're going to invest in something like this risky, a high-risk investment, you have to be a qualified investor, meaning you have to be a wealthy person. Basically, they try to restrict access to these kinds of high-risk things to only qualified investors, meaning that you have like $1 million that you can throw away. And if you don't, they're going to try to protect the public from these kinds of scams, from investing in high risk. And that's the reason why they require the new securities to be registered, and they want to make sure that you're a qualified investor. So for the longest time, you weren't able to buy Bitcoin on the stock exchange, because the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust was they only allowed qualified investors into that trust. And it's only been recently, the last 6 months, that they've opened it up to an over-the-counter so that anybody can buy it. But for a year or two or so, the only qualified investors could buy Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, GBTC, and buy Bitcoin on the stock market. And again, only open to qualified investors. And then you had to lock in your Bitcoin or your investment for 6 months, and you couldn't be in and out quickly and all that. So they had all these limits on it. And again, this is the way that the Securities and Exchange Commission protects the public from high risk kind of things. And so it's possible that the SEC could file a lawsuit against Patrick Hsu for this scam, but typically they've only filed lawsuits for scams of 100 million or more. So as long as he's only making $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, $4 million, he's probably flying under the radar of the SEC, unless people start really complaining, in which case they might take action. But in any case, the token is a scam, and who knows when there's going to be a rug pull, when he's going to remove all liquidity and stop buying. At this point, he's only been a seller. I don't think he's been buying too much token, and certainly if people start selling, he's going to cut off the ability for people to sell their tokens by removing the liquidity. And so these pump and dump schemes, as long as the price is going up, he's willing to provide, sell you as many tokens as you want to buy. But as soon as you turn around and want to sell these tokens, he's like, oops, there's no liquidity in the pool to sell the tokens. Sorry, come back later. There's currently no liquidity available for you to sell your tokens. There's no USDC available to purchase these tokens. Sorry, you're out of luck, and that's the way it works. So he controls the liquidity. I mean, there's other people that can start providing liquidity. If you have tokens and USDC that you want to put at risk and you want to buy more tokens, you can go ahead and add liquidity to the, at a certain price range to Uniswap, and you can start becoming a liquidity provider rather than Mr. Shu. Mr. Shu's the only one, I think, providing liquidity at this time, but I could be wrong. There could be others. But in any case, you could enable. But again, you're likely to be left holding the bag when people start wanting to sell their tokens rather than buy them. So it's kind of a pyramid scheme, and it's run its course. Again, be very careful, guys, and thanks for watching my live stream.